lawyers, especially human rights lawyers in Russia, we very much regret that it happened, because there were some opportunities for the authorities to keep their face more or less. The Navalny case is one of the leading cases before the European Court here in Strasbourg. And after the judgment of the European Court, you probably know that Russia mostly, in almost in all cases, paid all the compensation decided by the European Court of Human Rights. But the implementation of the judgment is not just payment. They have to implement judgments completely. First of all, to restore the rights. And Alexei Navalny, he had a lot of cases before the European Court. Some of them, they are really remarkable, because in one of these cases, I would say in one combined case from 5 cases, he obtained the decision. That was our team who pleaded before the European Court, and he obtained the very important decision, not only for himself, but for Russian oppositioners. When the European Court said Article 18 of the convention was violated, it means that improper aims were used by the authorities to persecute him in all these political cases.
You mentioned the saving face for these for the legal proceedings here. I mean, we're looking at this court yesterday in Moscow, and these legal proceedings, these judges involved. Is this all happening according to Russian law? Is it legitimate? How are these judges? Are they accountable?
They rely completely on the support in the highest executive and judicial power, and they know they are untouchable if they follow the order of the authorities. Otherwise, they would be quite scared to do that, because in this particular case, in this, I would say, civil rights case, and not criminal case. The European Court said that it is a criminalization of criminal actions, means that there were relationship concerning the property, and there is a civil way to solve this problem, and this is not a crime. And it is not only Article 6 of the Convention, right to fair trial, it's also Article 7, which, let me say in a very simple way, no crime, no punishment. Yeah. And it means that any punishment, suspension of the sentence, or other kind of sentence, or real sentencing, both are impossible according to this judgment.
Is there any chance? I believe he has 10 days to appeal. Any chance that won't go anywhere?
Yeah. Absolutely. Olga Mikhailova, who is part of our team, and here she represents Mr. Navalny many years, including before the European Court. She has a strong plan to act. Now it's appeal, then it is information of the European Court and the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe, which is the highest political and executive organ body, the Council of Europe. She's ready to inform them about non-implementation of this judgment, because when he had kind of the mild sentence without real imprisonment, we were more or less tolerable. We were writing our memorandums, but now it is the obvious I would say challenge of the.
Now you mentioned submitting these memorandums and giving opinions on the international impact or potential influence. Is there any, given the diplomats even present outside the court yesterday here, is there international influence on the situation right now? Is Putin under influenced or impacted by that?
Yeah, we can follow some of the expressions of world leaders, but I would, as a lawyer, as an advocate, I will emphasize that the binding nature of the European Court judgments, this is much more important, because Russia has two choices, or maybe not any choice, because if you are not following and you do not implement the judgments of the European Court, and you state you are not going to follow the judgments of the European Court, then Russia can lose the membership of the Council of Europe, and this is very serious. Some of our politicians say, "Oh, we don't care why we need this stupid card. We are paying money and we are punished for our money." It's not for those who realize the serious nature of our membership, of our commitments. I mean, Russian commitments before the European community. They realize that this kind of isolation should not happen. And if you remember last year, Russian position at the Council of Europe, at the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, there was very weak, and many countries insisted, many delegations insisted to expel Russia from the Council of Europe. At that time, we, human rights lawyers, on legal and political level, we insisted Russia must remain at the Council of Europe, because this is maybe for Russian people, in some cases, in many cases, I would say, it's the last resort to go to the European Court and to try to restore their rights.
Intriguing set of steps and ways.